What is up, guys? It's your boy Speedy here, returning back from Lima, Peru. Now, hopefully my mic quality is better. It wasn't the best in the last video. And yeah, I mean, let's just talk about some Dota. So what I got here for you guys today is 2 heroes for each role. The first hero I'm going to talk about is a hero that I think is very, very stable, very strong, and can be picked in the majority of games. The second hero is going to be more of my sleeper pick. So we got 10 heroes total. As I said, 2 per role. And let's get into it. On top of that, go sign up to the GameLeap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. All right, starting off for the safe lane, we have Medusa. Medusa got some really cool changes this patch, and I want to quickly read them out. So the main things you need to know about Medusa now is that Mana Shield is no longer a levelable ability. And this is nice because it basically means that you get to skill your other abilities. You don't have to worry about skilling up Mana Shield. This is massive, guys. Like, I can't stress this enough. You get to save your points and put them in your nukes. And now Medusa has 2 nukes. She has Mystic Snake, which actually got nerfed, but it's still strong. And she has Gorgon's Grasp, which is basically you fire this volley, you fire this like AoE 3 nuke thing. It's kind of like Underlord Q, sort of. And they take damage, they can't turn, and it roots them. This is really strong because Medusa obviously has some control issues. And Gorgon's Grasp is a great way to deal with this. On top of that, I'm actually a big fan of Medusa. I have been for a while. I think this hero is just undervalued. Even at the highest level, even in the pro scene, I think the hero is quite good. One thing I'd like to note as well is actually her facet. It didn't get changed this patch, and she actually got a new one, but I think Engorge is just the way to go. It's the facet where when she hits a Mystic Snake, her next 3 attacks do an additional 1 damage per each 6 mana restored. And in the late game, the shard and just like the general mana you get back is really high, and so it makes you hit extremely hard. So I'm a big fan of this facet, and overall, Medusa is a good hero. The only thing I'd like to say that is a nerf to this hero is the fact that Manta is a much, much worse item now. I mean, this item has been nerfed like 3 or 4 times in a row at this point, so maybe if there's some build that can be figured out, like a Mask of Madness with Dragonlance, maybe into Scotty, but generally Manta is the way to go even still. Okay, my sleeper pick is Slark. In this patch, Slark got some nice little buffs, and he's been getting buffs for multiple patches in a row now. So for instance, a couple of buffs that Slark has recently received is that his ulti cooldown got reduced, the regeneration health regen on his innate Barracuda got increased. This hero got a lot of buffs. In this patch, it got 3 damage, and 2 talent buffs, pretty substantial talent buffs. I would say the one at level 20 can potentially be very good. But why am I such a fan of Slark? Well, I think this hero just scales very, very well, and I actually like it against a lot of the meta carries. For instance, I think Slark is actually one of the best responses to Medusa in the game. It's also very, very good against Sven. I also think it's pretty decent against Wraith King because you could potentially burn his mana before he has, you know, the shard and can deal with it. So big fan of Slark for its matchups. And also this innate, if you get good at using it, is just pretty OP. Right, you can heal for 10 HP regen if you get out of vision at level 1, right? At level 1. And on top of that, I think this hero has one of the best shards in the game. The mistake people make is instead of going Diffusal Blade, Mage Slayer into shard, they go like Diffusal, Ags, Mage Slayer, Butterfly, and they skip the shard till late game. Guys, when you're playing this hero, take the shard, take the level 15 talent. If you don't know what the level 15 talent is on Slark, it's Barracuda regen. 50 Barracuda regen is insane because this is your passive regen, it's your regen during your ulti, and it's your regen for teammates and yourself during your shard. This is one of the best 15 talents in the game because it works in so many different ways. However, Slark is definitely a hard hero to play, and that's why he's more of a sleeper pick than super busted. All right, let's get into the mid lane. I'm really excited to talk about the mid lane for the second hero, but all right, let's get into the solid standard pick, and that's Ember Spirit. Right now, Ember Spirit has an incredible win rate in average pubs and a stupid win rate in high MMR pubs. It was like 59 not too long ago, now it's like 57. I don't think it will stay that high. It's probably going to move to like 56, 55. But this hero is just OP. Even though it kind of got nerfed this patch. But so do the other mids. It's just like the best mid right now, for sure. Especially if you move up in MMR. It's the best mid. This hero is incredible. Mage Slayer on this hero is really, really broken. It makes it stupid hard to fight. The fact that your hero just has like innate burn damage, it did last patch too. It's not like this is new. But the innate burn damage makes laning so easy because you're just always pushing the mid wave into the enemy, and it's just hard, right? It's just hard to deal with this Ember when he's always pushing the wave in. In the side lanes, that's kind of a bad thing, but mid, that's generally a good thing. And so yeah, Mage Slayer Ember, very OP. Gleipnir, OP item. Mage Slayer, OP item. This hero is just kind of broken. It's facet, even though it got nerfed. Chain Gang is OP as well. I think you should probably take Chain Gang nowadays. This hero is just busted. All right, but now let's get into the sleeper pick. I'm really excited to talk about Sniper. I just played a pub with him, I dominated, and I'm playing on 190 ping right now in Europe. And it still felt super easy. So what is so good about Sniper? Why do I think this hero is ridiculously powerful? And I mean really powerful this patch. Well, first off is his innate, which is one of the best in the game. For most of Sniper's history, this hero has had one major flaw. in the laning stage. At level 1, its attack range was like 450. And so if you try to hit the enemy, you would pull aggro on a slow range hero. This is always a bad idea because range heroes don't have innate stout shield block. But now his innate keen scope just gives him a bonus 160 attack range. This is problematic because snipers shouldn't have a bonus 160 attack range at level 1. Why? Because of headshot. Now, 40% of the time when you click the enemy, they get slowed 100% attack speed and movement speed slow for 0.5 seconds, which is actually a lot, and they take a bonus 20 damage. This is a lot. Then at level 2, if you really want to dominate, you have 2 options. You can take aim and have a 100% chance to headshot with a 200 bonus attack range, so they can't run away from it. Or you can take your facet scatter shot and shrapnel, which makes shrapnel a 1 second duration, so it's basically instantly over, but it does 120 damage. So you instantly have 120 damage nukes at level 1. I'm serious. You can nuke the enemy for 360 damage instantly, and it's completely unavoidable, and it's AoE. So at rune fights, if the enemies stack up, you can even skill this at level 1 and decimate the rune fight. I'm not kidding, it will kill them all. And so this hero has like stupid attack range, headshot's crazy at level 1, shrapnel or scatter shot is crazy at level 1. Take aim enables this OP headshot, and you take 2 points in headshot, and you just spam people with take aim and the busted attack range that this hero now has. On top of that, its talents are really good. Headshot damage at 10, attack speed at 15, shrapnel damage at 20. Take aim armor is kind of interesting. You can have 35 armor during take aim. Take aim just gives armor now, which is kind of cool in some games. And then one of the coolest talents in the game is shrapnel charge restore time, which is why you should take shrapnel damage at 20. Shrapnel charge restore time by 30 seconds. This is a 35-second cooldown ability, and it goes down by 30 seconds. This is one of the most broken talents in the game. This hero, in my opinion, I don't even know how its win rate isn't higher. I personally feel like it's completely busted and broken. All right, let's get into the offlane role. First off, we have Death Prophet, who has been receiving buff and buff and buff after patch after patch after patch. So the majority of changes that she got were actually in 7.37, but some big changes were actually 7.36b, where Witchcraft, her innate, went from 0.5% bonus movement speed per level to 0.75%. This is huge because at level 10, you're getting 7.5% movement speed instead of 5%. And movement speed is a big deal. I always stress this in my videos. Movement speed is OP. It's why boots are necessary on every hero. It's why Windlace, in my opinion, is a very broken item that a lot of people just don't buy because they don't see it as important, even though it super is on a lot of heroes. And so yeah, this change was massive. And on top of that, in 7.37, the hero got a lot. First off, at level 20, she has 400 health now, which is a really nice talent. And at level 15, now that you don't have the health talent at level 15, you have a better health talent at 20, you get to take Crypt Swarm cooldown. And this talent is really good, and it's what most people should be taking anyway. On top of that, I really think that her new facet is one of the best in the game. It's called Morning Ritual. It scales with your ulti, and basically you take damage over 5 seconds instead of instantly. And so what happens is, once you're level 18, if you get gone on, you take 50% damage, and then the rest of that, the other 50%, you take over 5 seconds. And you might be like, okay, but you're gonna die anyway. Well, yeah, but it lets you get off all of your spirit siphons very reliably. You basically cannot be bursted. It's half damage. And on top of that, what's really stupid is that you can Yule's dodge the damage. Yeah, you heard me right. You can Yule's dodge the damage. And so you can take 1 billion damage. You could take 1,000 damage and then dodge. You don't dodge all of it because it's 5 seconds. Yule's doesn't last that long, but it's like, I think Yule's is 3 seconds or 2.5. So you're dodging half or slightly more than half of the damage that you've taken. That is insane considering Yule's is just already a good item on Death Prophet because your E's and your ulti work during Yule's. So this was a natural item honor, and now it's completely busted with this facet. So yeah, I believe the way to go on this hero is generally going to be phase boots into like Windlace, Wand, Yule's, Raindrops, just like fighting early game items. From there, you have some options. You have a 40 attack speed talent at level 10. You can pair that with Gleipnir. You do a ton of damage and you have good control. Or you can just literally buy Pipe Crimson and just like Greaves Pipe Crimson, just be like an aura bot. It's extremely viable. All right, getting into the other hero, we have Centaur. I'm not going to say too much. The hero hasn't really been changed a lot, but what I like about Centaur right now is how stable he is and how good he is with Crimson. So Crimson Guard got nerfed this patch actually, where instead of doing 2.5%, it gives 2.2% of your max health as block, but it's still really good. And Centaur has like the highest health in the game, right? Because of his innate and eventually his shard and just like his general strength gain being like, I think it's the highest in the game. So yeah, I really like Centaur with like Blink into, or Blade Mail, Blink, Pipe, Crimson is very powerful, into Shivas. Very, very powerful, great items, makes the hero feel great, and I would highly recommend it. Okay, getting into position 4, my stable one is Bounty Hunter. This hero actually got nerfed this patch, but I believe it's a very good pub hero, just because Track is very powerful, and there's actually 2 things. Track is just damage ham now. It's 6, 12, 18% based on the level of Track, so it's like this huge Track. And you get 20% bonus gold if you kill enemies with streaks. So if you're losing the game, which is gonna happen, obviously, sometimes, if you track the opponent and you kill them, actually, no, I don't even think it's tied to Track. It's just like, if you're part of a kill and the enemy has a streak, you get 20% more gold. So this hero's ability to turn around losing games is really strong, considering you amp the person you're going on, and then if they mess up and die, which people throw all the time, like because they siege towers way too early, you just come back and the game completely swings. So I don't have too much to say besides that. The other thing I would maybe say is the Ags got nerfed a little bit, so like stray away a little bit from the Ags. Go towards Auras, Drums, Solar Crest, Crimson, Pipe. Like, just stack these items, guys, and your team fight is gonna be OP. Once again, Drums, Solar, Crimson, and you're gonna feel like really nasty just clicking these buttons on your teammates. Okay, my sleeper pick, which might not even be a sleeper pick, is Tinker. Tinker got one of the hardest buffs of the patch. So you might be asking, Speed, what was this change? Well, the change was his heal bots, instead of healing 30 per second at max level, heal 45. A 50% increase. A 50% increase to the healing. That is ridiculous, guys. Like, imagine Sven's God Strength just became 50% better. Instead of giving you 200% damage amp, it just gave you 300%. I mean, it would be the best hero in the game. Now, Tinker isn't exactly that, because it's not like the hero completely revolves around repair bots. But yeah, we're talking about support Tinker here. Now, what is so good about support Tinker? There's a lot to break down, so let me get into it. So the first thing to note is that Tinker's innate gives him item cooldown reduction per intelligence. So basically when this hero levels up, it gets CDR. And this cooldown reduction works on items. The main item you're going to be pairing in with is Solar Crest. Solar Crest was an item that was pretty significantly buffed this patch. It's 100 gold cheaper and gives 25 more health, which is really nice considering this item was already really good and now it's just heavily buffed. So what people are doing is, first of all, you're just a good laner because the hero has 6.8 base armor, 310 movement speed, and decent damage. Its only downside is its attack range is bad at 500, and its base attack time is shit. It's not the best trader, but these repair bots, guys, it's just like an insane laning ability. You just put it down, and you and your offlaner heal, it pushes the wave, which is fine, and you just go crazy. Plus, they buffed the ability in 7.36B to have a lower cooldown, which is obviously really good. And same thing with laser. So the abilities that you need for trading in the lane just both got buffed. So you take laser and march, and usually you take 2 points laser for the lane, max march, then you put points in matrix after that. And yeah, basically you farm like crazy with march, so it is a very greedy hero. You farm like crazy with march, you buy Holy Locket, Solar Crest, you have infinite health, you cannot be killed because of defense matrix pushing you. And then you give your teammates status resist and 1 billion health. Like, I'm very serious when I say that Holy Locket Tinker is like some of the most healing in the game. It is unbelievable what this hero can do in team fights. Definitely one of the best scaling heroes for support in the game. And no, this is not a meme. I'm not trolling. It is actually good. All right, let's move on to the position 5 role. First off, we have Oracle. He's been really good for a while now. So a couple of the things that have been really broken about this hero for a while now is, first of all, its innate is unbelievably good. And I mean unbelievably good. Prognosticate is really crazy. You just get to ping to your teammates where the rune's gonna be. And instead of having to go mid and fight the rune, which Oracle is terrible at because the hero is just not that good early game. It's like, it's mid, okay, he's average at. Depends on your level. He's average. Instead, you just get to tell your mid, oh, the rune's top. Now your mid will go top. It's really simple. Like, you just have to remember to do it. On top of that, he has some of the best fastest in the game. He either gets heal amp, which actually got nerfed last patch, but still good. Heal amp per level or spell amp per level, both of which are actually very strong, but I lean towards the heal amp. But a big thing for me about this hero in the meta is Crimson is really good and it's going to become more and more popular. So is Solar Crest, and you can dispel both of them, which is just really, really nice. Like, the frontliner goes in, he's all buffed up, you click Q on him and it just removes all these buffs. And it doesn't work against Pipe, unfortunately, because Pipe's a stupid item and can't be dispelled. But for the most part, you can dispel these major 2 items, Crimson and Solar Crest, and it makes a big, big difference. On top of that, he's one of the best shards in the game because it amps heal by 20%, and also just heals by 40 per second for 10 seconds, which is 400 heal, which are ulti amps. And your E for a while now has a 450 heal, which is just crazy. That just seems like a nutty number. And in a meta where like mech is very popular, False Promise is just a way better ability in the early game because they're getting mech'd during it frequently. Big fan of Oracle, definitely a super underrated hero, even in the pro scene. I think a lot more pros should look at this hero. All right, and finally, last hero is Nature's Prophet. Now, you guys know I love Nature's Prophet. This is my favorite hero in the game, so I'm a little bit biased. I am, what can I say? But what is so good about this hero as a 5 this patch? The main thing is the changes to the Ironwood Treant. They gave it 50 more movement speed, going from 300 to 350 movement speed. The average movement speeds of a hero is 300. So when you are 50 movement speed faster than the average hero in the game, you're going to chase them down. This Treant, if you put it on a range position 4, will have to walk back to the tower. Now, as long as you don't put the Treant under the tower because it gets melted by towers because it's a reinforced unit, if you don't do that, you can zone out any hero in the game. Melee heroes, range heroes, the Treant will zone them. It is insane what this Treant, you cannot kill it. The only heroes that counter the strategy are the heroes that instantly kill Treants, like Clinks, CM, Doom, not Nyx because it doesn't have mana, funny enough. So yeah, it's really crazy in the laning stage. It's broken. Now, what do you do after that? Well, a couple things I'd like to recommend if you are gonna give this a shot. Take Treant at level 1. Then take Sprout at level 2. It does 70 damage instantly now, and people don't really think about the Sprout if there's a Treant. They think you're going to take Teleport at level 2, but you're not. Don't teleport around the map. What people are going to do wrong is try to kill people around the map. You are terrible at this now. Why? Because you used to get 36 damage when you TP'd in. Now you get 0, you get a barrier. This is not useful for killing people. It's terrible. It's really terrible. And so instead, use the broken Treant that's broken in the lane to lane, click Sprout at level 2, you need a Stick, a Null Talisman, and a Clarity during the laning stage. If you do not buy these items, you will not have enough mana. The hero will always have a pull camp, if you're good, because you are such a broken laner, you can always zone them off the smoke camp. You should be unblocking the smoke camp every game, buying a ton of mana regen, popping the Clarity while you're pulling, using Treant and Sprout to zone them out, and then you'll be like, wow, I'm level 6 at minute 9 because I've gotten a couple kills, I've completely bullied them out of lane, I've spammed pulls, I'm feeling good. Now your ultimate hits everything on the map. This is one of the changes they made in 7.37. Your ulti hits everything on the map. This is massive because now if you have a ward on camps, which is actually a good thing now because it will increase the damage before it gets to the enemy heroes, you should actively ward groups of camps if possible. I'm very serious when you're playing Prophet. Camps on like the enemy triangle or your jungle are very, very good, because it will make your ulti do more damage when it hits the enemy. It's very, very good. It's just good, you know, like, and one of the funniest things, people don't know this yet, but I at least I don't, most people don't know this. In the late game, when you have level 18, you one-shot creeps, as long as it's max bounce, which it's not hard to do late game when there's so many creeps. So what you can do is I will drag the waves with Treants, I'll take my Treant, I will stack waves, click ult, and then I will actually have like 1k GPM with my ult. And if you buy Ags, you lower the cooldown. It's really fun. But the item build I do, last thing, the item build I do is Null Talisman, as I was saying, sometimes Magic Wand. I'll buy a bunch of Blood Grenades so I can help get kills early game. If I do want to TP somewhere when I'm like level 6, usually is when I'll get active, just with the ulti, I'll, you know, hit him with the ult, hit him with a Blood Grenade, hit him with Sprout. You're actually dealing like 500 damage, you know, it's a lot. So I'll do that, then I'm buying a Vessel and a Shard. The Shard does damage based on how many trees are around the enemy, and it gives vision in a massive AoE. It's a huge AoE, it's really broken, also slows. And if you Sprout the enemy, it does a ton of damage. Plus it does more damage if one of the trees is your Treants. It got buffed in that way in this patch too. So I'm a huge believer in this hero. It's really quite difficult. After that, in terms of items, you can buy literally anything. You can scale with Gleipnir Treads, or you can just go like Orchid, or you can just buy a ton of auras. But yeah, it's a hard hero, but I'm a big believer in it. All right, that's gonna be all for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.